There once was an alliance formed on day one that ran itself pretty much like a mafia or even a cult, as they took lying to a whole new level by being delusional in regards to how they were abusing religion to take advantage of others. The manipulation that occurs is so strong and so gross that it has not happened before this season, and it really hasn't happened since. It's baffling to watch. But with that, I want to thank the patrons on my Patreon as they picked this topic to be covered. It's a unique case study in fake religious manipulation, but consider joining them to get videos early and to pick what videos I make. So I want to preface this entire video by saying that pretty much every person in this video who utilizes Christianity as a tool to manipulate others is not at all how the Bible tells those who are Christians to live. The behavior you are going to see is very cultish, meaning a relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister, because how Christianity is twisted here to be sinister fits that definition perfectly. It isn't at all how the Bible instructs those who follow God to live, and any comments in the comment section attacking others for their beliefs will be removed, so please be respectful of each other. But okay, with that warning, let's jump into Season 23, South Pacific and the Family Alliance.
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
We begin by being introduced to this season having 2 returning players who will be on separate tribes. Ozzy from Cook Islands and Micronesia, and Coach from Tocantins and Heroes vs. Villains. Coach is the returnee we care the most about here, as his previous times playing had him attempting to play with honor and integrity, but that was mostly a ruse to cover up him lying and make him feel good. It was more of an ego trip than anything else, and everyone pretty much caught on to this, which only made it worse. Here, he wants to do this, but for reals this time.
I've played this game twice. I haven't been successful. This time, I'm trying to control my sense of self-righteousness and judgment on the others. I'm back because this is one more shot for me to prove to everybody that I can own this game and that it can be done with honor and integrity.
We also meet some important figures for the season, such as Cochran, who is this season's Survivor superfan, who is on the opposite tribe of Coach, and Brandon, someone who has had a rough past and has recently found God and wants to live a Christian life.
I am Russell Hantz's nephew. It's like being related to Hitler, but I don't think Hitler's nephew was running around saying, hey, I'm Hitler's nephew. I came out here to change the course of the Hantz family's name.
Brandon may be a Hantz, but he says many times that he has no desire to tell anyone who he is related to. Pretty much every newbie player wants Ozzy on their tribe and not Coach, but for Upolu, the blue tribe, they are getting Coach for better or for worse. But in case you're wondering who the mafia boss will be this season,
it's good to see them, you know. It's nice. They're temporary players.
Ooh, ouch. Christine scares me the most. She said right off the bat, you are a temporary player. So, no question about it, Christine is target number 1.
Whoever Coach wants gone will be going, no matter how much he waxes poetic about his feelings and pretends morality plays a part. And I'm not going to be showing every single instance of manipulation this season. It's insane the amount that there is. It's almost every moment of every episode. If he was just someone who played a ruthless game, it would be similar to Boston Rob, but the added stuff of honor and integrity combined with only doing that when it feels good or is strategically smart makes it not fun to watch this version of him. This is the least fun version of Coach. But that first night at camp, he gets together with Sophie, Albert, Brandon, and Rick and says, I feel good about us. Let's be a 5-strong alliance that will be able to roll over everyone.
If you have a strong 5, you can go so far, even if you're down numbers at the merge. I guarantee you this. You have a strong 5 that have good vibes with each other, trust each other. That's an almost impossible nut to crack in this game. I think I'm sitting pretty right now. But let me tell you something. Coach is here to play this game this time, okay? I'm not going to do anything sneaky or dishonorable, but this is Coach 3.0 and I'm here to win.
Now, Brandon right away is struggling with some inner demons himself because a woman on their tribe, Michaela, is a lingerie football player and Playboy model, and Brandon wants her gone because she is a temptation for him. He even compares her to Delilah in the Bible, and Sophie says Brandon treats her like she's the whore of Babylon. In case you didn't know, Delilah tricked Samson in the Bible to sleep with her and cut off his hair, which caused him to lose his strength. That isn't the beginning nor the end of Samson's story. It's the only part that Delilah plays a part in though. Michaela, by the way, has done nothing wrong that we have seen on the show. Sophie, who is part of the family alliance, says she feels good about this alliance but suspects Brandon is hiding something from all of them. Upolo wins immunity in episode 1, so we move on to episode 2 where Coach pulls in a 6th member to be a part of the family alliance, but Edna is really just someone the family will use to get further, and she will never truly be a part of them.
Listen, you want to keep the tribe strong, but to me, loyalty, I think, is the most important thing. Loyalty sometimes outweighs strength in this game. So it's my job to protect her.
Coach thinking he can protect anyone is pretty funny after his past 2 seasons, but this season it's serious business. However, Coach and Brandon are walking and talking when Brandon says, "I am sorry for hiding this for so long because I wanted you to get to know me for me, but I am Russell Hantz's nephew."
It says Lil Hantz. That's why I wear my shirt all the time. I'm Russell Hantz's nephew. Just keep that on the DL.
My jaw literally dropped.
Unfortunately for Brandon, the rest of the season we'll see people comparing him to Russell no matter what he does. He really should have kept this to himself. However, Upolo goes on to lose immunity, so if you recall, Christine was labeled a target by Coach in episode 1, and of course, nothing has changed. In fact, it has gotten worse since she went looking for the idol. Oh, the humanity.
I haven't forgotten what Christine said on day 1. Coach is a temporary player. That really pissed me off. Plus, I haven't forgiven her for running around looking for the hidden immunity idol. And then Christine and Stacy are thick as thieves, so we'll get one or the other.
Coach is off his rocker, acting like looking for the idol is some sort of sin against humanity. Everyone does it, it's just part of the game. In fact, Coach will do it later this season. At Tribal Council, via what people are saying, Christine learns that I guess this big happy family, as they have been promoting themselves, does not include her, so she gets the hit and gets voted out.
Christine, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 3 begins with Christine at Redemption Island, which I do realize I have not talked about so far, so let me catch you up on that. Redemption Island is a place where voted off players go to compete to stay in the game and hopefully get back in at the merge or at the Final 5. Only one person will come back at the merge and only one person will come back at the Final 5. While there, Christine compares Coach to an Egyptian king, which I had to Google, but was pretty impressed she made that reference. Meanwhile, back at camp, Michaela learned at Tribal Council that Brandon wants her out, but she is legitimately confused as to what she did in the game to get this target on her back. Fair enough, I don't know either. But then it happens. Brandon drops the bomb and says sorry to his whole tribe for not telling him, but he is Russell Hantz's nephew. So much for keeping the secret. He says he felt convicted for lying to them about this, despite no one ever asking him if he had any relation to Russell. Everyone seems wowed by this information, but they accept it and move on. But then Brandon does something that's very hard to watch. He basically puts Michaela on blast for no apparent reason, and this is intercut with him saying he's a Christian, and it's hard to watch.
But I'm telling you as a man, I wanted you out of this game really bad. And when she walked up to me the way she did, I was very upset. And what I'm trying to explain to her is she's wondering why I want to vote her out, okay? And you might want to look around and see who's really loyal and who's really not. Because it sounds like to me, you don't have much of an alliance. I was told by my papa, by my dad, do not lose your temper. And it's plain and simple, you know. Being a Christian, I shouldn't have lost my temper. I should have been able to control myself. I should have been, and I didn't. I failed. I struggle every day. This is like a constant battle for me. Good, evil, good, evil, good, evil. And I really want to do good.
That incident, not only is it unchristian-like, makes Sophie and Coach realize that Brandon might be more like Russell than they realized, and they say he is a loose cannon, which is accurate. Upolo goes on to win immunity, so in episode 4, Brandon apologizes to Michaela, realizing that he was acting on his emotions and not actually on what he should be doing as a Christian, and this will be a reoccurring trend for Brandon. He will do something wrong, know what he did was wrong, and then apologize to that person. Michaela says the most accurate thing you can say about Brandon, he needs to think before he speaks. Now this next moment is crucial because, as you may recall, Edna is the extra limb on the family alliance. She is the third wheel, but it's actually like the 6th wheel, but you get the picture. Anyways, Brandon says to her face,
I care about you, and you've been a very good friend to me. And this whole time I've known that the people that you trusted, including me, lied to you. And I can't lie to anybody anymore. There's definitely a core 5.
But there's only a core 5 and not a core 6.
I'm sorry, and I hope you accept my apology.
That's okay. I'm just kind of surprised about 4-5.
Brandon is a loose cannon for sure. I'm not sure if I would ever want to be on an alliance with him because I'm afraid he would just tell everyone everything. But Edna now has this information in episode 4, but what will she do about it? We shall see. Anyways, Upolo loses immunity and Stacy, who was aligned with Christine from before, gets the hit and is voted out. Coach trying to hug players as they leave will be a regular occurrence this season, but on Redemption Island, Stacy says she knows that Tribe is not one big happy family like they promote themselves, and Coach is a joke. When she talks with Jeff the next day at the Redemption Island duel, she won't even call him Coach. She says she will only be calling him Benjamin. Jeff asks why she's calling him this, and she says,
"What's his name? What was his birth name? It wasn't Coach, it was Benjamin, wasn't it?" And you know, they're children, 26, 22. They over there listening to all the Benjamins, Halloween jokes, Chucky the Cheese jokes. They want it. He going off for loyalty, got them feet on Benjamin, so loyalty. Come on now. Every day got a story. I wasn't buying it. No.
Absolutely brilliant. Back at camp, Albert tells Coach about what happened and Coach gets so mad. He says since he turned 18 years old, people have been calling him Coach, even his parents, and if he catches anyone calling him Benjamin, he will be livid. So anyways, Albert finds the clue to the hidden immunity idol, and at their camp he tells Sophie and Benjamin about this, which helps Benjamin find the idol, and he does tell Albert and Sophie, but not Brandon, Rick, or Edna. They go on to win immunity, and in episode 6, Brandon finds another clue to the idol that's already been found. He tells Albert and Coach then makes fun of him for walking like Russell. I mean, can Brandon help his shenanigans in this case? Why are we making fun of him? Albert then says, we can't tell him we already found the idol because Brandon will be greatly upset they held the info from him, which is true, but I'm sure it could be presented to Brandon in a way that is honest and makes him understand. Maybe. But what about Edna? It has been 2 episodes since Brandon told her some crucial information, so what has she been doing about this?
Ever since Brandon told me I wasn't really part of the Alliance of 6, I knew that I definitely have to do something. So I've been cozying up next to Coach because I just want to make sure that Coach knows that I haven't wavered in my relationship with him, and I think it's working.
She's the one person out here that I think would lay her survivor life down for me. So to vote her off before Michaela, who's not part of the 6, that would be crazy.
Michaela is the next target because she didn't suck up to Coach like Edna did. They do lose immunity, and Albert says, hey, Edna is the weak physical link on our tribe, let's vote her out. Coach says, no, Edna listens to him. So at tribal council, Michaela gets the hit and is voted out.
Michaela, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 7 begins, and here's when it is not only Brandon who is trying to be a Christian, but now it is Coach who is using it as a weapon to control and create an illusion. Coach has kind of always claimed he's been one since Tocantins, but his actions in this season especially say otherwise. Basically, he wants to trick Brandon into thinking that they just now found the idol this episode, which is a great survivor move. But the icky part is that they pray about it beforehand, asking God to help them find the idol when 3 of the people in this prayer circle already know that Coach has it in his pocket. Sophie says she isn't even a Christian and this feels wrong.
You know, this whole prayer thing, for me, it doesn't weigh as heavily on my mind because I'm not the one speaking the prayer. I find Coach to be a little more questionable when he actually is the one saying, you know, dear God, help us find the idol, when he knows he has the idol in his pocket. It gives me a little bit of an icky feeling.
Mere minutes later, Coach tells Brandon he found the idol and Brandon is so overjoyed, but it is all a facade. It's a huge lie for everyone else. This episode is really Coach jumping the shark, and it makes him seem like a wolf in sheep's clothing, which I think is the most accurate description of what Coach is doing. They go on to win immunity and reward, and this awkwardly forced moment happens.
On your knees. On your knees. Come here. Let's pray. Come here. On your knees. On your knees. Father, we thank you for this victory. Father, we praise your name that we have prayed for you. We give you the glory and honor right now. Thank you, God. We praise your name, Father, and everybody says in Jesus' name, amen.
It feels so fake coming from Coach, but he clearly utilizes it to control his alliance, and it seems to be working. Now, part of that reward is getting to see the infamous Jack and Jill movie, obviously acted in by Adam Sandler, which is by far one of the worst movies he has ever made, but Coach loves it, or at least pretends to.
Jack and Jill, loved it. I love Adam Sandler. Personally, I'm a fan. It was good because it was funny, but at the same time, there was a message, and the message was, hey, family comes first.
The next episode has the challenge get back in the game for those on Redemption, and Ozzy purposefully got himself sent there to eliminate Christine. However, he tries to play this off like he got blindsided, and Ozzy isn't really winning any Oscars here.
I gave pretty much everything to my tribe, and then we lose one challenge because somebody can't operate a clip, and that ends up being the person that sends me here. You play the idol, you don't even... I know someone else probably knew that you had it. As far as I'm concerned, tribe boundaries, I mean, if we're at the merge, they don't exist anymore. It's all one for one, and whoever sticks together from this point on makes it farthest in the game. But I thrive under the pressure to come back in the game for revenge, basically.
Ozzy does eliminate Christine much to Coach's pleasure, and they all merge. However, the tribes are tied 6-6, and someone needs to flip, otherwise they are all drawing rocks at Tribal. At the new merge camp, we learn that Cochran is playing double agent, but pretty quickly, Coach susses this out, which I am sure was bolstered by Ozzy's bad acting, and Coach says, join us and forget your old tribe.
I feel like you guys are trying to play us, okay? You guys came up with a story. You guys sent Ozzy to redemption. You got an idol in your pocket. Okay. And knowing that Ozzy would win redemption. It was a risk, but you knew that Ozzy would win redemption. I know what those kind of people think about people with intellect. I've been made fun of my whole life, dude. Okay? I might be the Dragon Slayer now, but I know what it feels like to be superior in one way to people, and they know it, so they find ways that you're inferior to cut you down. I know what that feels like, man. But you have a chance to change the game for yourself. There's a line in the sand. Come across that line.
Coach said exactly the right thing because Cochran has been bullied by the other tribe and is willing to flip. We even see Brandon embrace his role in the mafia by offering protection. Cochran says, yep, I'm flipping, and gives Sophie all the info on how Savai will be voting, which helps Upolo not to vote for the player Ozzy will be playing as idol for. And sure enough, at Tribal Council, Keith of the Savai tribe is eliminated, and Upolo is now up 7-5 with the successful Cochran flip.
Coward. Don't talk to him like that. That's what you get for talking to people like that in the first place.
The next episode begins with Ozzy calmly talking to Cochran one-on-one, and Brandon comes over to protect Cochran just like he promised. Ozzy's like, I'm not going to hit Cochran, obviously. But Jim does cuss Cochran out and says, never talk to me again. If anyone was going to hit Cochran, it probably would be Jim. But then we see Coach ask Cochran who he would like to see go next, and Cochran says, you know what? I'd like to see Ozzy and Jim go. So what do you know? Coach puts the hit out on those two, as indeed, Ozzy is voted out, followed by Jim.
Ozzy, once again, tribe has spoken. Jim, tribe has spoken.
On Redemption Island, Jim calls a spade when he says that the alliance Coach has built is basically a cult, with Coach as the leader.
That is a cult unlike I've ever seen before, and the longer that Coach has them believing that they're all one tribe, more likely it is that he wins the $1 million.
But soon after, we see Coach trying to deflect and say, I'm not the leader of this alliance. Why does everyone think I'm the leader? I'm totally not. But he is so clearly the leader, as what they do is whatever he wants to do, while he constantly coaches them in all the challenge and leads them in fake prayers. Whitney of the remaining opposing tribe is like, duh.
Coach is running the show like he's Jesus. All of them think that they're gonna go to the end. You know, obviously 7 can't go to the end. And it's so frustrating. I kind of want to laugh at them and be like, y'all are so smart. Cochran went to Harvard. Sophie's going into med school. I don't understand how these smart people can be so stupid.
We even hear from Cochran that, yeah, had he known Coach was a cult leader, he probably wouldn't have flipped, but for now, he must be on Coach's good side to keep himself safe. We then see Albert begin to obviously appease the jury by telling them things that they want to hear. He says, hey Cochran, you're going to be out in 7th place. So sorry about that, buddy, which Cochran didn't know about. Coach tells Edna that he knows what Albert is up to. Nothing goes unnoticed by him.
If anybody wants to go against the 5, it's instant death.
Duh.
Instant death. Yeah. There's 3 types of motivational styles. There's coddling, there's reaffirming, and then there's fear. So I feel at the moment like an old mob boss. If anybody goes against the family, they're dead.
Then at Tribal Council, Dawn and Whitney get voted out back to back, completely eliminating the Savai tribe except for Cochran.
Dawn, the tribe has spoken. Whitney, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 12 has Cochran knowing he's going next, so he tries laying down multiple guilt trips to keep him in the game. He pretends his birthday's happening in a couple days, when really when you Google it, you find out it's in January. He says he risks life and limb to flip and give them the numbers, and Sophie says, "Screw you, you made the wrong choice, dude."
Cochran said, "I know a lot of you feel indebted to me. I don't feel indebted to you. You know, screw you." He made an awful move. He should have stuck with his tribe.
We then see Edna ask Coach if she is going to go next after Cochran, like Brandon told her back in episode 4, and here we are in episode 12, and apparently Coach is very confident in his mafia because he just straight up tells her.
Tell me, I'm basically next person to go after Cochran. Is that still true?
I think so, yes.
Why?
Because it's time to start picking everybody off one-on-one.
While on reward, Coach pretends that he wants Cochran to not go at Tribal, and he says this out loud to Cochran. He says, "Cochran, I will fight for you until I die." But then we see Cochran ask Coach to just not vote him out, and at Tribal, Coach votes him out. So much for saying that he will fight for him until he dies. That's not the case.
Cochran, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 13 sees Coach on a reward on Redemption Island, where he talks to Ozzy and says, completely unprompted, "Hey, if you get back in the game, I guarantee you Final 3, because I want to be at the end with you. I want us strong men to be at the end."
As soon as you get back from Redemption, it'll be at either 6 or 5. You, me, one other person. I'm giving you my word, dude, as a Christian man.
This was an out of left field promise from Coach that Ozzy should take with a grain of salt, since Coach has barely kept his word all game, and I'm sure Coach is only making this deal to hopefully have Ozzy bring him to the Final 3, because he suspects Ozzy will go on an immunity run, which is a very good suspicion. But at Tribal, like Cochran before her, no matter how much pleading she does, Edna gets whacked and is voted out.
Edna, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 14 finally sees the family alliance of 5 as the only ones left. Time for some infighting. We hear from Albert about how he doesn't give 2 rips about honor or integrity. It doesn't really matter to him, it's just things he's using in this game to manipulate. And I'll give him this, at least he's being honest on his stance about this. Sophie then realizes that now Ozzy is only one challenge from coming back into the game. He needs to be stopped, so we need to send Brandon there because he might be our only shot at getting out Ozzy. Coach agrees, but at the immunity challenge this happens.
Brandon has it! Brandon wins immunity and reward! Thank you, Jesus!
He saved his own skin by winning immunity. And I'm at peace with that. I'm pissed, but I'm at peace with that.
Back at camp, everyone is fighting with each other except Coach. But then the wildest thing happens. Albert shamelessly uses Brandon's real religious beliefs and pretends to share the same ones, even though he clearly doesn't. In fact, Brandon's the only one here who's trying to be a Christian. It's rough because Brandon is clearly pretty new to the whole Christianity thing, but at least he's trying. And Albert basically uses what Brandon believes against him to convince him to give the individual immunity to him, and Brandon is confident he won't be voted out if he does this.
If I have to, I'll give him my necklace. But I know you'll never vote against me. And I know you'd never do anything or vote any way that you knew that I was going home.
You may think this sounds crazy, and surely Brandon backs out of this insane move by the time they get to Tribal, but that means you don't fully understand the levels of manipulation happening by people like Coach and Albert, as at Tribal Council,
I want to give my immunity necklace up.
Okay.
Brandon then gets voted out, and of course, Coach doesn't just stop with his whole act. It is now the finale, and if you're anything like me for a while now, you have been begging them to please stop with all of the manipulation via fake religious beliefs, and apparently, Coach is fed up too, as he hypocritically says,
Albert knew that Brandon was going home tonight. There's no sense for that lie. Just own yourself. Own your actions. I'm sick of people coming out here and trying to look like they're holier than thou.
Just as feared, Ozzy wins and gets back in the game. Then once again, Coach promises Ozzy Final 3 and says if Coach wins immunity, that he will give Ozzy his idol. Ozzy doubts any of this is true. He has seen from the outside looking in what Coach is doing. So Ozzy does go on to win immunity. So now someone else from the family alliance has to go. Coach wants Rick out since he has almost had no hand in the fake religious manipulation, and it is likely that no one is bitter towards him. He then lies to Rick about who's going home, but Rick knows better. It's just too late for him to do anything about it. Ozzy then spills the beans to Albert about the final 3 deal Coach promised him, and Albert confronts Coach about this, who does not confirm nor deny these allegations. At Tribal Council, Rick is voted out and denies Coach hard.
Don't have a seat. Oh, Rick, come on. Have a seat, man. Okay, it's all right. Go have a seat.
Rick, tribe has spoken.
At the final immunity challenge, Sophie wins immunity, which must mean that Albert is going next since Ozzy was promised final 3. Right? Come on now, you know Coach was lying about this. Obviously, we know what's going to happen here, and this is made even more apparent as during a confessional where Ozzy is talking about this exact thing.
Something tells me he's going to change his mind. I don't know, but...
I relinquish once and for all the title of Dragon Slayer, and you are the Dragon Slayer.
Ozzy then talks to Coach knowing exactly what would be taking place, and Coach says, "Sorry, Ozzy, I just can't go against my word against Sophie and Albert. It means so much to them." And Ozzy's like, "Yeah, but you gave me your word too. As a Christian man, does it mean nothing?" But of course, Ozzy is voted out for the 3rd time this season. At Final Tribal Council, all of Coach and Albert's crap is called out. Rick says Albert was incredibly sleazy for lying about God, which is then compounded by Albert lying to Brandon right afterwards.
Just really quick question. Did you know I was going home?
Let me tell you right now.
Did you know I was going home?
I'm going to tell you.
Did you know I was going home? Yes or no?
This is the answer to that question.
Yes or no?
I was told.
Yes or no? There's no explanation.
Okay.
Did you know I was going home? Yes or no, or
Brandon,
I'll move on.
No.
And then you screw yourself.
I did not know that you were going home.
Okay, that's it. That's all I need to know.
Can
You
I tell
lied.
you?
Ozzy then calls out Coach on his BS at Final Tribal and says, "Dude, just own what you've done and you might gain the respect of this jury because you've played an expert game. Just stop lying about your fake religious beliefs." Coach refuses to do so and instead says he basically had to compromise his word more times than he cared to. Whitney then calls a spade and tells Coach exactly what he did.
Coach, I feel like you used Christianity to manipulate your whole tribe and put fear into them, actually.
Sophie gets hit by the jury as well, but she bites back and says a lot of the time in Survivor, men can drag young girls to Final Tribal and beat them easily. She says she can't do that, she's not a man, but she saw Coach as her young girl. But then the biggest bomb of all is dropped at Final Tribal Council because despite everything, Brandon is still somehow duped into thinking Coach is his friend and is legit, but then the truth about the idol reveal happens.
The idol was actually not found the way that Upolo thought it was found. Albert found the clue with the help of Coach and I distracting the team. Coach then found the idol, and we originally thought we would keep it for the 3 of us. And then it got to the point Brandon was hunting anything for an idol that wasn't there anymore. And so we staged a discovery of the idol.
Any chance Coach had at Brandon's vote went out the window, and when the votes are revealed, Sophie wins 6-3-0. The Family Alliance dominated this season, but their disgusting use of fake religious beliefs made the jury incredibly bitter, and frankly is a rare case of making them all look worse as people. The only person who's really trying to live like a Christian is Brandon, and he clearly was struggling with no one around to actually guide him in the right direction. A line was crossed in many ways, which is why manipulation on this level is yet to happen again on Survivor. But it is very much representative of how something amazing like Christianity in this case can be twisted and used for evil, which it was never intended to do and has been done over the course of so many centuries, using different religions as manipulation on others. It's crazy. So what do you think about the Family Alliance? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.